When you feel lost, staring at your bank account balance, knowing there is no way you could afford the thing you want, you feel a heavy weight on your chest. The pressure of bills, the stress of not knowing if you could make it through the month. You keep telling yourself, if you just had more money, everything will be fine. We have all been there at same point, feeling that anxiety that comes with financial uncertainty. It is more than just number on screen. It is fear, it is pressure, it is the uncertainty of not knowing how you are going to make ends meet. You feel money is not just something you used. It became the thing that defines how you see yourself, how you see your future, and even how you see your worth. When you begin to realize that money is never the root of your problem, you begin to understand that the real challenge is not about how much you earn, it is about how you feel about it. That shift in perspective is everything. It will teach you that money does not just sit in your bank accounts, it is in your heart, your mind, and your emotions. How we think about money influence how we live, how we spend, and how we save. This journey is about understanding the emotions behind money. When we change the way we think about it, we can finally stop letting it control us. Today I share 30 lessons that have the power to transform not just your bank account, but your mindset, your habits, and your life. It is time to step away from the anxiety, from the fear, from the endless chase for more. This is about understanding the psychology of money, so you can find true freedom, not just financially, but emotionally. Lesson 1. No one's crazy. My friend Trump's family was always traveling. They never seemed to worry about money. But when we start working together, I noticed he could not understand my hesitation to spend. After all, his mindset was, the money will always come. For me, it was the opposite. I felt like money could slip away at any moment. Everyone has a different perspective on money because of their personal experience. Listen to the need for wealth. I remember seeing my uncle, a successful businessman, drive a flashy car and live in a big house. But when I went to visit, he was never there. Always working, always stressed. His wealth was apparent, but his true rich, his time were not. Wealth is what you don't see. It's about financial independence and freedom, not visible luxury. Lesson 3. Luck and risks. In 2008, one of my friends invested in real estate. At the time, it seemed like a golden opportunity, but when the market crashed, she lost everything. Was it bad luck? Was it bad timing? Or was it just the unpredictable nature of risks? Luck and risks are powerful factors in success and failure. They play a significant role in the outcomes of financial decisions. Lesson 4. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. It was heartbreaking watching my childhood friend, once a millionaire, lost everything by chasing risk investment. Meanwhile, my neighbor, who didn't make a big splash, managed to save, steady, and is now more financially secure than ever. It is easier to accumulate wealth than it is to keep it. Success in managing money often comes from avoiding mistakes, not chasing big wins. Lesson 5. Freedom is the ultimate goal. My aunt was always stuck in the grind, always working overtime, always stressed. Then one day he had realized, why keep working for things when you could be working for freedom? She quit her job, downsized her life, and now spends every day volunteering and pursuing what truly makes her happy. Financial freedom allows you to live life on your terms, not defined by a job or salary. Lesson 6. Save money. There was a time I was living paycheck to paycheck. One month my car broke down and I didn't have the money to fix it, but because I had been saving even a small amount, I was able to fix the car without going to debt. The importance of saving, how a small saving can lead to big wealth over time. Lesson 7. Rich versus wealthy. I knew a man who drove an old car, lived in a modest house, but had built a fortune over decades. His wealth was invisible. Another man I knew earned a high income, but his life was dictated by work and appearances, constantly chasing the next paycheck. Being rich is about income. Being wealthy is about accumulating assets and having the ability to spend your time as you wish. Lesson 8. You and Me. I watched as my friend Jay saved diligently for his retirement, investing in the stock market, while I focus on experiences with my family. Our paths are different, but both of us found fulfillment in our choices. It's about knowing what matters most to you and sticking to it. Personal finance is personal. What works for one person may not work for another. Lesson 9. Wealth is what you don't see. When I was growing up, I knew a neighbor who lived in a small house, drove an old car, but was always smiling. Later I learned he had quietly accumulated wealth by investing over decades. His true wealth was not what you could see. It was the peace of mind that came with financial freedom. People often mistake visible display of wealth for actual wealth. True wealth is often hidden. Saving, investments, assets, not flashy car or big house. Lesson 10. Reasonable greater than rational. I once stayed on a family vacation even though the numbers didn't quite add up. It was a reasonable choice because it gave us moment. Sometimes making decisions that make you feel good emotionally is just as important as the financial logic behind them. It is important to reasonably good with money than to be perfectly rational. It is about being emotionally comfortable with your choice. Lesson 11. Surprise. I remember the financial planners who had predicted a small sailing, but then came the 2020, a global pandemic, and life changed overnight. It is a reminder that while we can plan, we cannot control the future. We can only prepare for the unknown. The future is uncertain and surprise, both good and bad, are a constant in financial life. Lesson 12. The power of time. I met a woman in her late 60s who, in her early 20s, began saving just $100 a month. Over the years, that small commitments turned into a fortune. Thanks to the magic of compounding, he didn't get rich quickly, but over time, she built something that gave her the freedom to live on her own terms. Wealth is built over time. Passion and compoundings are some of the most powerful forces in personal finance. Lesson 13. Tail events. In 2017, an unknown small company I invest in explored in value, turning my small investment into a small fortune. It was not just something I saw coming, but I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. It reminds us that big wins or losses often come from unexpected outlier events. Big, rare events shape most of the financial outcome, even they are impossible to predict. Lesson 14. Freedom is the goal. John worked in a high-paying corporate job for decades. But one day he realized that his real goal was not more money, it was freedom. He retired at 50s. And now he spent his day fishing and traveling, living life on his terms. Financial freedom is the ultimate goal, being able to do what you want when you want without worrying about money. Lesson 15. The role of luck. My friend Peter inherited a large sum from his parents, which allowed him to invest early and grow his wealth. His success was not entirely due to his own efforts. Luck plays a significant role in his journey. It is a reminder that success is not always solely about hard work. Luck is an undeniable factor in personal finance. Some people will be more successful simply because of their timing. Lesson 16. The Paradox of Wealth. I once knew a man who inherited millions. At first it seemed like a dream come true, but soon he was constantly worried about losing his wealth. His relationships changed, and the freedom he thought he would have become a burden. More money didn't equate to more happiness. Having more money doesn't always make you happier, and sometimes it leads to more stress and worry. Lesson 17. Avoiding the big mistakes. I remember watching my friend Mike take a huge financial risk. He invested everything in a volatile stock. When it crashed, he lost most of his savings. That time I had stay steady, keep a balanced portfolio, and avoiding the disaster. The most important thing in money management is avoiding big mistakes, like taking not too much risks or not saving enough. Lesson 18. The Cost of Success. Tom became a successful CEO, but he lost his family in the process. The money came, but the price was higher than he even imagined. When he finally realized it was too late, success requires sacrifice, but sometimes the cost of pursuing wealth, time, relationship, peace of mind can be too high. Lesson 19. Invest in yourself. I once invested in a professional development course that seemed expensive at that time, but that invest paid off tenfold, leading to a career change, financial stability, and a sense of personal fulfillment that money couldn't buy. The best investment is in yourself. Either it is education, health, or personal growth. This is the most reliable form of wealth. Lesson 20. Time and passion win. My grandmother started saving for retirement when she was 22, and by the time she retired at 65, she had a comfortable life. It was not the amount she saved, it was the time she gave her money to grow. Time and passion, more than anything else, made her successful. The most important aspect of wealth building is time. The earlier you start, the longer you stay in the game, the more likely you are to succeed. Lesson 21. The Psychology of Spending. I had a friend who always bought the latest gadget, design clothes, and ate expensive restaurant because he thought it made him feel successful. But one day, after losing his job, he had to scale back. In the process, he discovered the joy of cooking at home, traveling on a budget, and finding true satisfaction in simple life. Our spending habits are deeply influenced by emotions, social norms, and the desire for status, often leading us to make rational financial choices. Lesson 22. The Importance of Flexibility. I remember a woman named Anna who had a strict no debt rules. But when her car broke down and she couldn't afford the repair, she realized sometime you have to be flexible. She took out a loan to fix the car, but make sure to set up a solid repayment plan, learning that there is more than one way to approach financial challenges. Being financially successful is not just about following a rigid plan. It is also about being flexible and adaptable in the face of challenging circumstances. Lesson 23. Financial independence is a journey, not a destination. I spent 20 years focused on reaching financial independence, saving and investing with a singular goal in mind. When I finally achieved it, I realized that true reward was not just the freedom, it was the lesson I had learned, the discipline I had cultivated, and the lifestyle I had built. The journey, not just the destination, was what changed me. The idea of financial independence is not a fixed endpoint but a dynamic process. It is about continually aligning your goals and resources over time. Lesson 24: The impact of social media on money. I once knew a young woman who bought an expensive handbag just because she saw influencer flirting on Instagram. She didn't have the money for it, and the stress of keeping up with social media led to bad financial decisions. But when she took a step back, she realized she didn't need to buy status to feel worthy. Social media can distort our perception of wealth and success, making us feel inadequate to keep up with unrealistic standards. Lesson 25: Don't compare your financial journey to others. Ima always compared her financial journey to her colleagues. It felt like they were always ahead, buying bigger houses and cars. She felt like a failure. But when she stopped comparing, she realized that her modest home and small, steady saving were exactly what she needed for happiness. It was her life, her choice. Comparing yourself to others in terms of money and success often lead to dissatisfaction and poor decision making. Everyone's financial path is unique. Lesson 26: Luck versus skill. I once knew two entrepreneurs, both equally skilled and hardworking. One was able to secure a life-changing contract simply because his timing was perfect and the company was looking for someone like him. The other, despite his better product, never got the same break. It is a reminder that luck can play a bigger role in success than we care to acknowledge. Success often comes down to a combination of skill and luck, but luck plays a much higher role. Lesson 27: The dangers of overconfidence. After a series of successful stock investment, my friend John became overconfident. He started betting big on high-risk stock and even ignored advice from more experienced investors. His wins led him to believe he could do no wrong. When the market shifted, he lost almost everything. It taught me that humility and caution are as important as confidence in managing money. Overestimating your ability to control the future or predict the market can lead to be poor financial decision. Lesson 28: Emotional spending. One evening after a stressful week, I found myself buying a brand new television that I really didn't need. It was an emotional purchase. I thought it would bring my comfort. But a week later, it didn't fix my problem, and the money I spent added more stress. That purchase was a moment of emotional weakness, and I realized how easy it is to let emotional guide our spending decision. We often make decisions based on emotion. Either it is spending to cope with stress, celebrating a moment of happiness, or trying to impress others. Lesson 29: Financial goals are fluid. When I was in my 20s, I went to own a big house with a luxury car, but in my 34th, my goal had completely shifted. I realized that what I really want was financial freedom and time to spend with my family. The lesson here is that your financial goals will evolve. It is important to check in with yourself and adjust as you grow. Your financial goals will likely change over time as you grow and your priorities shift. Being adaptable to change is the key to financial success. Lesson 30: You cannot buy peace of mind. A close friend of mine, David, accumulated a large amount of wealth over the years, but he constantly worried about losing it, how to preserve it. And another story from Linda, who lived in a small, modest house, drove a used car, and never worried about money. She had fewer financial resources, but a far greater sense of peace. The difference Linda didn't see money as the key of happiness. She found contentment in her values and lifestyle. No amount of money can truly buy peace of mind. It is not about how much you have, but about how you manage it, what you do with it, and how you let it shape the life you live. Either it is through passion, flexibility, or understanding the role of luck. Our journey with money is about building a future that reflects our true values. Remember, the real measure of wealth is how you use what you have got.